Hey guys, this is Don Airey from Deep Purple, and you are listening to the Deep Purple podcast. It's been a pleasure.
You're listening to the Deep Purple podcast, a fan podcast about one of the most legendary bands of all time, Deep Purple. We take a look at the music, history, and people behind the band Deep Purple and beyond. Welcome to the Deep Purple podcast, the first and only podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 242, Living Loud, live at the Sydney Fox Studios. And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, where the dogs are still in heat, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John, Mr. Peanut Butter Matola.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, South Kingstown, Rhode Island, I'm Scott Bejan. And I don't have a funny catchphrase, guys. Sorry.
All right. Well, that's pretty good. So, Scott, you haven't been on the show in like 180 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've been saying like...
Sounds about right.
We've been saying, we should get you back on the show. You should get back on the show. And this just shows you like, I think doing this religiously every week really... emphasizes how long you can procrastinate something. Because when you put it in those terms, it's been like a long time.
Yeah. I suppose it has been a while. The Coverdale Page episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the teaching episode.
Yeah, it was the one where we learned you can't do a modern 90s era CD in one episode without killing yourself.
No, you can, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, even when John and I do albums shorter than that now, we break it up into 2 episodes, and that's without the third point of view, so.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it going pretty long.
Yeah, it was pretty long. It was over 3 hours.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Definitely could have been 2 episodes. But welcome back. Thank you. So Scott and I and John and we all kind of met roughly around the same time within a couple years. But known you for forever. I think I met you in 5th grade?
That's right.
When you came to regular school?
Yes.
with us fools. And so tell the listeners a little bit about what you do musically, what your projects are, what you're working on, all that sort of stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I for over 20 years now, I played drums for Badfish, the Sublime tribute band. We started in 2001 here in Rhode Island, and we've kind of developed ourselves into a nationally touring, self-sustaining tribute band to the music of Sublime, which, if you don't know, is a sort of a mid-90s. They gained national popularity in the mid-90s, doing sort of a rock, reggae, ska fusion, Southern California band, and they still have basically kind of a cult following to this day, and we're able to tour around playing the music and having a good time with all of the fans that they still have, which is great for us. So that's my job, and that's been my job now for a while. And I'm also a budding young tech entrepreneur.
Yes.
And, I have a new mobile app called Clip Clash that I've been just on the verge. I'm on the cusp of launching a testing phase for. So that's pretty exciting. That was sort of a COVID project for me that's finally come to fruition or close to fruition. And that takes up a pretty good chunk of my time. Besides that, just living here in South Kingstown, Rhode Island with my family, my 2 kids, my wife.
Beautiful. And so you're what we in the business refer to as a geriatric tech bro.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that.
Geriatric.
That's what I remember when Jen was pregnant. They like she was, how old was she when she was pregnant with the boys? I think she was like 32 or something, and they referred to it as a geriatric pregnancy, and she was so pissed.
What?
Yeah, that's tough.
That's like the technical term for it, is a geriatric pregnancy. It's like, how insulting can you be?
Wow.
But welcome to the show. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Always good. And when we were talking about this topic, we have a history of growing up listening to Ozzy and all that sort of stuff. So, we thought, hey, let's see if Scott wants to be on the show. So we've covered some Ozzy stuff already, but this is a little unique because it's some half Ozzy material, half non-Ozzy material. Some players from Ozzy, including, Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake, and Don Airey. But there's obviously a strong Deep Purple connection. So we'll get into that in a bit. But before we move on to that, I do have to do what I always do. And that is, of course, open up by telling you ways you can support our show. If you want to support our show, one of the ways you can do it is by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. The 100th 5-star review will get a Deep Purple ditty bag filled with all sorts of Deep Purple podcast goodies. We still haven't pulled that 100th review yet, so keep writing them. You might be the one. As when this episode comes out, if you can believe it, it's going to be December. So what a great way to celebrate Christmas. Opening that with the family, getting some Deep Purple swag. I don't even know what it's going to be yet, but we'll send you some goodies. I promise. One of the other ways you can support our show is buying some merch at our Etsy store. Just sent out a couple mugs a little while ago to a listener. We've got mugs and T-shirts, and soon to have winter hats. Maybe they'll be available by the time you hear this. Check out the store. You can also become a patron on Patreon or on PayPal for as little as $1 a month. Help support the show. All the money goes right back to the show, helps us buy albums, helps us buy concert tickets, helps us support our new computer fund. So make sure to become a patron on Patreon or PayPal if you want to support the show. And then you can donate on Cash App, $DPPOD, or on Ko-fi. So we will get in a moment to some of our patrons. But before we do get that, we, of course, have to thank someone, and that is a new patron. If I can find it. New patron. Oh, there we go.
Yay.
Sound file number 472. New patron coming to us. This is at the £1 silly made up name tier, and the name is ICDC. So, he wrote into us, just kind of complimenting the show. He was actually just making his way through the Jesus Christ Superstar episode, so it's got a ways to go. So thank you so much for supporting the show, ICDC, and we hope to have you on board for many, many years. Thank you so much. And before we continue, we, of course, have to thank our executive level patrons coming in at the in memoriam tier, the late Gerald, Jerry Kelly, and family. Thank you so much for your support. At the $25 uncommon man tier, we have Ovis Nakvi and Purple Maniac. At the 15 squid tier, we have Alan. Alan ain't too proud to beg. At the $10 good doctor tier, we have the wonderful Dr. Mike Catan. At the turn it up to $11 tier, we have Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgard Mortensen, Mickelstein, and Will Porter, PhD PP. At the $10 Someone Came tier, we have Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans, and Peter from Illinois. And at the Hughesoween by 2033 tier, we have Fielding Fowler. Hughesoween by 2033. So every week, I don't remember until I read that name that I still have not shortened that clip.
Or changed the music.
Or changed the music or done anything. So yeah, we'll be going well into Valentine's Day with the Halloween music. And if you would like to check out like-minded podcasts, make sure to check out deepdivepodcastnetwork.com, where all fine deep dive single band podcasts are found. And then just one more thing before we move on to the meat of the program, and that is, of course, our favorite segment. That's Postcards from the Edge of Connecticut. As I reach over here. So this one comes to us from the Public House Historic Inn a postcard. This is a great hearth in the tap room at Sturbridge, Massachusetts. And it says, Nate, now here's a Sturbridge greeting for you, Pete. And it's got the appropriate, oh, you know what? It looks, oh, they did postmark it. So yeah, this is coming to us. Pete must have spent some time at a Sturbridge public house. So have you guys been to Sturbridge recently?
No, I haven't.
No.
Probably not since I was in elementary school. Well, apparently
I don't know
Pete
if
has.
I've ever been.
Pete,
it's
were
like a
you?
historic village type of place, right?
Yeah, it's like Colonial Williamsburg, but in Massachusetts. We are doing a live stream this episode, so the Gardeau is in the chat, so maybe you can tell us if he was actually there recently or if he just found this in his archive of historic postcards. But this one goes in the postcard box. Thank you so much, Pete. Appreciate it. All right, so here we are, guys. We are on to talk about Living Loud, this project that happened as it started with Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley talking about, well, let's back up a little bit. In 2002, Ozzy, as you know, had the bass parts and drum parts redone to cover up Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley's parts on the first two albums. Boo.
Boo. Boo.
So yeah, not a fan of that, but he did it. And
is anyone a fan of that? I don't think anyone's a fan of that.
No, nobody. Oh, I think Ozzy and Sharon are because they get like whatever little tiny percentage of more royalties for the albums that they sell in the future. But
yeah, and they get to rewrite history and all that other good stuff.
Yeah,
so
nobody was asking for this.
No, I think I might have listened to that. Like when I found out about it at first, when did it come out? Early
2002. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I heard it. I was like, nope. I don't even think I got through I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so is more like it. And then I turned it off. So
yeah
I agree.
It wasn't like, I don't know. I mean, it was stupid. And, obviously they got screwed out of their credits on Diary of a Madman in the first place and got credited to two people that weren't even on the album. And then they kind of did that. And as Scott says in the chat, Scott Haskin, that is, he says, at least they made it right before Lee died. And they did.
That's
true. As in Lee's twilight years, they finally gave him credit and gave him his gold record or whatever it was. And that's nice. But, on the coming on the heels of all the shitty stuff they did, it's like, it's like I punch you in the face and then 20 years later I buy you some flowers. It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened. So I guess, I don't know if they outright come and say it, but Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake are talking. They say, well, why don't we, since we wrote these songs, why don't we do our own version of it and put together a band? So they got together, and at first, apparently, Bob Daisley was kicking around the idea of having a bunch of different guitarists come in, like have Steve Vai do a track or two, have Steve Morse do a track or two, have Gary Moore come in, all these people. And then eventually, I guess they just kind of hooked up with Steve Morse and said, well, no, this really works really well like this, so let's just keep it as a band. So everyone that's listened to the show has heard all of these names before. The only person I think we probably haven't talked about before was Jimmy Barnes, who does vocals. And from the liner notes, it says, Australia's #1 rock vocalist for over 20 years with a string of #1 albums throughout his solo career and with his band Cold Chisel. Jimmy also has one of the highest selling albums by an Australian artist in history with Soul Deep, which was followed up in 2001 with the hit album Soul Deeper. Jimmy also has recorded with numerous artists including INXS, Tina Turner, Joe Cocker, and Bon Jovi, just to name a few. So there's a little history on. Do you guys are familiar at all with Jimmy Barnes?
I don't think so. I mean, none of that sounds familiar, to be honest. Like, I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, I wasn't ever familiar with him, but I did do a little bit of diving leading up to this just to see some of the background on this album and this project. And that's not like that. He is a legit Australian kind of superstar vocalist. It seems like those aren't made up stats. Like he had a lot of #1 records in his solo career, and I kind of just jumped into his discography today just for fun. And I think the guy's got a great voice, and apparently he's got quite the resume, especially in Australia. But I'd never heard the name. I'd never heard his voice. So this is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like he's really big. I saw him on. There's a clip of him on like Good Morning Australia, the GMA knockoff, and they're like he's huge. They're like it's like if Tom Cruise came by the GMA set, they're like, oh my God, like it's Jimmy Barnes is here. So he's a big deal,
Okay.
and I started following him years ago when I heard the connection. He did some stuff with John Lord, so I started following him, and he's always he had like a surgery like a couple years ago and had a good recovery, but he just seems like a really nice guy. Like he's always posting videos of himself like in his garden, coming in with fresh vegetables and cooking with his wife. Seems like he's loving life. And why wouldn't you when you're Australia's #1 rock vocalist? But sure. that's the project. We've got like I said, Steve Morse, Bob Daisley on bass, guitar, Lee Kerslake on drums, Don Airey on keyboards. So it's basically the Blizzard of Oz lineup with Jimmy Barnes and Steve Morse. So some people, but you've also got Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake were in Uriah Heep together. So some people call this Heap Purple. But
sorry,
people are clever. Peter Gardeau has heard of the character Cliff Barnes from Dallas.
I mean, I guess it's a little more, was it Heap Purple? I like that better than when JLT was in Deep Purple and they called it Deep Rainbow.
Yeah, Deep Rainbow. It didn't work quite as well.
Not as clever.
All right. So yeah, usually, we kind of have a little bit more of a setup, but there's not really a ton of this. It's really just kind of a, your average super group. I don't want to say average. These are all top flight players and everything. Yeah. But it's a classic super group, and they did this one album, and then they did a debut 2 concerts. So Steve Morse and Don Airey were traveling through Australia, playing some shows with Deep Purple, and they said, hey, let's do a couple live shows to announce this album that we worked on. So they did it, and this is the second of the 2 shows. The first one was at the Metro in Melbourne, and this one that we're going to watch is at Fox Studios in Sydney, which I think has since been purchased by Disney and partially turned into like a Disney World thing in Australia, unless I'm getting that wrong. And they recorded it in Florida, like around where near Steve lives, at the studios that Deep Purple were using at the time, and there you have it.
And were these the only 2 shows they did? Did they tour on this project at all? I didn't see any.
No, I think it was just these 2 shows to kind of it was kind of like a little announcement of the CD release
of the album. Yeah.
Right. So, without further ado, if you guys are ready, unless you got anything else, any other subjects to cover, we can jump right into it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything. Yeah, this is quite new to me. So,
all right. Well, let's do it. Here we go. A Living Loud. So obviously we'll probably have a lot to say about the interpretations of the Ozzy songs, but they also have some originals, so they're kind of like alternating between originals and the Ozzy tunes.
So they wrote original songs for this band?
Yep. So the album is like half and half.
I guess I don't know. I don't know if I love it when a band does that, like when they do this, but we'll see.
Jimmy Barnes, Living Loud, their debut album, Living Loud.
They're like, Jimmy!
Are you able to push more volume out of this, Nate?
Yep. How's that?
Better.
Nice.
Kind of AC/DC sort of vibes on this one.
That's great.
Kind of has like a AC/DC type of thing going on.
Yeah, I just said that.
Sure. Yeah, his voice, right?
I didn't hear you, mate.
I know. I had to say it or else the listeners would have said it.
And this dude looks like somebody, and I don't know, but I'll figure it out.
Judging on the photos I've seen of him wearing that t-shirt completely covered in sweat, he's not gonna have that jacket on for very long. Oh, I didn't even see the backup singer. I heard them earlier, but I didn't see them over there on the right.
Yeah, they have a nice little trio there.
They probably won't be doing much on the Aussie songs. Although it would be great if they did.
Hey, we don't know that. We don't know that. Just cool seeing Bob Daisley and Lee just rocking, right?
And Don back there.
And Don back there, yeah.
Yeah, you got your original Blizzard of Oz backing section there. Love it.
That's great.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
I was going to say, he's not going to leave it there. Not Steve Morse. So Scott, you can appreciate Steve Morse. He's a lefty who plays a right-handed guitar.
Oh.
So might be able to tell with his technique a little bit.
Oh, he's a lefty. He's playing a right. I was going to say, that looks like a right-handed guitar.
Yeah,
He's a lefty playing a right-handed guitar.
Yep, just like you.
I too do that at a very fractional level.
Yeah, you're about 90% as good as Steve Morse, I'd say.
Yeah, oh, sure.
Just need to work on your volume swells a little bit. You're almost there.
Okay. Originally from in Dixie Dregs, this guy, yeah?
Yep.
Pretty cool. With our buddy Rod Morgenstein, Nate.
That's right, yes. I've told that story on the show, yeah, when we met Rod Morgenstein. I got his autograph over back there.
Right.
We went with your was it just you, me, and your grandfather that went?
Yeah, probably. My brother, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Yeah, I think he's taking that jacket off already, right? No, maybe not.
Nice. Well, that was good.
Yeah, very cool.
I enjoyed that.
We managed to squeeze in a rehearsal for these songs between shows that these guys were doing with Deep Purple. So we'll learn the songs as we go along. You'll probably know them as well as us. Right? But we want to play them, we want to have some fun, and we're glad you came and joined us. We're doing songs off of the album, Living Loud. And some of these songs, some of you people might know. They're recorded by these two guys here and a bunch of their mates.
Is he going to mention Ozzy?
And I thought we'd join in and throw up some bits in as well. If you don't know them, just get into it and have a good time, all right? Because neither do we.
I love how these guys could just throw this together, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
So
all right.
You really can't think of a more different guitarist than Randy Rhoads than Steve Morse. His style's so much different, so it's cool hearing his take on this.
Yeah, but Steve Morse is doing the rhythm a lot of justice here.
I did a little bit of the... Bob Daisley was
weird,
cracking
like,
up. I don't know what happened, but...
It's just weird, like, hearing this song sung by a guy that sounds like Bon Scott.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he sounds like a cross between Brian Johnson and Bon Scott, weirdly.
Yeah, right? He's beating them halfway.
A little bit of both.
Oh, they were, so the backup singers were singing.
Whoever said
That's
about
what he looks like.
the Shatner look. Yeah, he does.
Doe says he looks like Shatner. That's it. That's it.
Not a bad look. Not a bad look, Peter.
Shatner. That was not what I was thinking of.
Yeah, if Shatner was on vocals, this would sound a lot different. You've seen him perform, right?
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah,
like when he squints his eyes, it's like a yeah, it would be a lot different.
Yeah, looks like Shatner. Certainly does not sing
What's
like him.
the
Thank
future
goodness.
of mankind?
Oh, no. I don't know.
Yeah, he looks like T.J. Hooker era Shatner.
Yeah, I don't know if Shatner
Yes.
ever had the frosted tip look, but had he,
He probably did in 2004. I think
Yeah,
it
he
was
probably
required.
did.
Well, I think the girls, the female singers did join in on the chorus here.
Yeah.
In the I don't know part, I definitely heard them. Very cool stuff.
I have another earphone I'm going to put in.
Oh, they're singing a little bit in the background. I love he's reading the lyrics off the ground. That's great.
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah. Very cool to take some liberties with the arrangement of the tune and the something like that. Like,
Yeah.
Yep, very.
it's occurring to me that you never, when you see someone cover an Ozzy song, it's like a bar band and they're just trying to do it exactly by the book. You never see like someone do a cover where they're giving it their own, not an Ozzy song anyways, right? Not that I've ever seen. So this is cool.
Yeah, it's got enough from the original that it's familiar, but it's nice. It's refreshing that they're doing something a little different.
Yeah, because you never
right.
really hear it done differently.
Right. No one covers Ozzy songs unless they're a bar.
Well, I mean, it's hard because, I mean, you got to...
True.
Ozzy's got a really distinct voice. I mean, all these guys really have distinct styles, so to
Yeah, and that's you have to
really make it sound good.
As a vocalist, you have to put your own spin on it. You're not going to sound like Ozzy.
No.
Like, you have to put your own spin on it.
But I have to admit, this Jimmy's voice works with this.
I love his voice. I think it's killer. Wow, cool.
Awesome. What a good version. This.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It looks like they're having fun too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think Steve Morse is always having fun. He's always just smiling, playing the guitar, and never has a bad day.
Songs like that last one that was recorded by Ozzy that we were going to cover. We were going to do just for some fun. And we got in the studio. We were there for about a couple of weeks, and we learnt all these tunes, and we wrote a bunch. This is one of the last ones we wrote. And I think it came from an idea that started with Steve. And
There's the Steve fans.
Like, woo,
we all
Steve.
ran with it.
So Scott Haskin, did you interview Lee Kerslake, or am I making that up in my mind? I know you interviewed most of the guys in Uriah Heep, but well, he might have gone away for a second. But oh, that's right. Yeah, he passed away. That's.
got a soulful voice, huh? This guy kind of, it's like bluesy, but it's a little soulful too.
Yeah, Morse is pulling out like a lot of like Hendrixisms on this one, which I don't really hear from him super often. A lefty that played a right-handed guitar, but the wrong way. So there you go. We'll have to have you back in sooner than 180 episodes and review the album.
Right.
Imagine being like these guys and just being able to throw this together with like 2 rehearsals.
They're like, we suck. We're like, no, you don't.
You probably know the songs better than we do. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, you get the sense that that Bob and Lee seem to remain, carry on a friendship through the years. You get the sense that those two guys would just get together on weekends and play through these albums, so they probably knew this stuff.
Oh, I think another thing they mentioned is maybe having, I think I mentioned the guest guitarist, but they also mentioned guest vocalist, and they brought up that they would ask like Dio was considered to be on this as well. Would have been.
Oh, cool.
But they changed it basically from instead of being a project, they made themselves be a band instead, so. Love the background vocals.
He's got a cool style, this guy, huh?
Yeah.
Very, I can't really put my finger on it. But
It's very, very signature. We always,
yeah.
whenever we're listening to something and we're not 100% sure he's playing, then we hear the boogada 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 boogada. He does this like those little chromatic runs and
Yeah, he's got those runs, but these cool bendy things going too. It's like a mix of like Jeff Beck and Steve Vai and crazy, I don't know.
yeah. And
Yeah,
if
he's got a great sound.
if you look at his right pinky, he's always on the volume knob. He does all sorts of volume swells.
All right.
So he's even doing it now while he's playing chords. He probably uses the volume knob the same way that like Beck uses the whammy bar. Just like it's like a part of the instrument.
It's just part of it, yeah.
Like Scott Haskins said that Ritchie wouldn't let Ronnie do the project, even though he'd been out of Rainbow. It sounds believable.
said this was what, 03, 04, this performance, Nate?
I think the performance was in 2004. Let me see. And you know what? I left the DVD upstairs, so I don't even know if it says it on that. Yeah, I think it was 2004 and it was released in 2005.
You know, he also... I think I figured out who I initially thought he looks like. He looks like an older Mark McGrath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, 2004, right? Early 2000s.
Well, I think because of the spiky hair, yeah.
The spiky hair and the kind of like the bleached blonde tips there or whatever.
Or at least it looks like it, but...
He's probably like 20 years older than Mark McGrath, so good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at this point it says he'd been the top rock vocalist for like 20 years. Now it's 40.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm digging the originals.
We did a show last night
Yeah.
in Melbourne.
I guess they're all kind of originals in a way.
Sometimes in Australia you drive around and you see guys in cars and they'll be bloody headbanging away, whether it's, to K-San or something, In America, something like that. When you see those guys, like Wayne's World, in America, when you see guys drive along in the car headbanging, it's normally to this song.
Here.
They didn't bring along their vibra slap, I guess. He's just shrugging at each other. What are you gonna do?
He's like looking down at the lyrics.
What's it? Crazy. Yeah, there we go. I'd be too scared that I was gonna, even though I'm pretty confident I'd have the words down, I'd be too scared I'd mess it up and everyone would yell at me.
Yeah, you can't mess up this one, I suppose, right?
Ooh, Lee Kerslake throwing a little spice on that one.
Yeah.
Not hearing much Don Airey in the mix.
No.
He's definitely playing back there.
Daisley's looking at him like, don't mess up my lyrics.
Yeah.
Rafcaf in the chat says, Verrechter Zug. That's a crazy train in German. Actually, Google Translate says it's Luxembourgish.
Well, for having to read the words, he's really nailing it, performance-wise.
That's one of those things I know he knows the song, he just probably just can't remember all the words.
Really cool that they're changing it up a lot,
Yeah.
When I was younger, I always hated when they changed songs up when everyone did a cover, and then I realized what's the point of doing a cover if it's exactly like the original.
Well, you think the easy way out for them having only a couple rehearsals is to just really do it exactly like the record, but it's more credit to them for putting their own spin on it, having only a couple rehearsals to like work that stuff up. Pretty impressive.
Yep.
You know, oddly enough, Steve Morse is like a perfect guitar player to do Randy's parts, and they couldn't be any more different as guitar players.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he's not playing any of the solos from the record. He's doing his own thing, and it sounds great.
You know, but I think the changes in it are enough where it's retaining the feel of the song and not changing it too much, but we're enjoying the little changes they're making.
Yeah, very much so. And he's able to do that Randy thing live where he just seamlessly fits in a guitar fill in the middle of the rhythm part, and just jumps right back in, easily back and forth. He's seeming to do that easily. Yeah. He's obviously a great player, but you need to be able to do that if you're going to do anything like Randy.
I thought there were 4 singers, but that was just some guy standing there. Ooh. Oh, that was a tight little upbeat hit that they did there. Yeah, you wouldn't really guess that these guys have barely played together.
Very nice, very cool.
Yeah.
This would have been a show to be at.
This is the one that was in Florida, right?
No, it's in Australia.
This is in Australia.
But yeah, they recorded the album in Florida.
The war had broken out, and there was trouble. People bombing places everywhere. Terrorist attacks. Both sides of the fence. And we started thinking that too many people get killed in the name of religion, and sort of wrote a song about it. And we decided that we'd put this out as a single. And if you want to buy this single, by the way, the money goes to UNICEF to help victims of war, kids. Which is a good enough reason to buy it anyway. But hopefully you like the song as well.
There's a little Don Airey for you.
Oh, yeah. Pretty cool. Wow. I didn't have this style on my bingo card for the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever you call this.
It's got like a Middle Eastern sound to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it sure does, yeah.
And there's a documentary on the kind of making of this album and the concert and stuff, and he gives a little bit of a longer version of the rap that he has there. which is not a new concept. Killing for a religion bad. Something I don't understand.
Yeah, dovetails nicely with Crazy Train in a way.
What guitar he's using is weird. It doesn't. It must be like a partially hollow body. There's like no visible pickups. There must be something internal.
Oh yeah, that is weird.
It sounds like a
Is it
sitar.
the same guitar that he's been using?
No, it's a new one.
No, because
okay.
between songs, a tech came over and gave him another guitar. They gave him this
Okay,
guitar.
yeah. I thought I saw regular old pickups on the other one, but this is cool. This is whatever kind of guitar that the other. I didn't know what the other guitar was. Looked a little odd to me as well, but
And a really unique sound out of it.
Yeah, it sounds like. I mean, if I was listening to that, I'd think it was a sitar. I am fascinated by how that guitar works.
Wow. Yeah, it is a very sitar sounding
yeah, definitely.
instrument.
He's having fun with it. Sounds like George Harrison jumped on stage with him.
Oh my God, it's Arnold Grove.
It's funny that this was the song they released as a single. It's probably the least like the other ones. And I don't know if you're getting it in your headphones, guys, but when he's doing those solos, it's like it's really panning back and forth between left and right.
I'm not getting that.
Yeah, I only have one ear in, so I'm guess I'm missing on that whole effect.
Yeah, go around the 46-minute mark on the audio when the audio podcast comes out in 5 weeks or whatever. You'll definitely remember that.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, different style for sure.
He's a talented man. Hey.
I feel like now he's going into a little Eddie Van Halen, George Lynch type of thing.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Oh wow, cool.
Okay.
Cool intro.
Yeah, neat. Just a neat transitions, and
Wow.
seems like they're tacking on like these cool intros to like sort of throw your curveball and then
Yeah.
get into the song, which is I think a pretty cool trick.
It's cool though, because like Curse Like and Daisley, I feel, are playing it fairly straight or fairly like the record, but the others are taking a few more liberties, and that's what makes it kind of cool. You've got that foundation, and basis of the song that's really solid.
Yeah.
But there's other flourishes are coming in. Now, are the background singers gonna? I can see it. I can see it. Are they gonna do that? Because that's gonna be a missed opportunity if they don't.
That would be great.
They better do that. I just love this bass line. I love all of his bass lines. You know?
Yeah.
The syncopated nature of the bass line. He's playing on a lot of upbeats and just leaving the downbeats open. Just other bands weren't. I don't know. They weren't doing stuff like that.
Yeah, not in this genre.
Not in this genre. Yeah, of course.
Nice camera work there. Cutting to the pick slide.
You know, it took my ears like not too long to adjust to him singing these songs, but I really like him on the vocals doing these Ozzy songs, and that's not. I don't think that's an easy thing to accomplish.
No.
Right.
Oh wow, he's actually throwing in pretty close to the original solo.
Well, you can't not.
It's weird. He's like, he put his own spin on it, but he kind of kept that like arpeggio pattern the same.
Wow.
Oh, they're doing a little breakdown of this again.
Yeah.
I think Ozzy should have been sniffing out Steve Morse after Randy passed away, if you ask me.
So we could have screwed him out of out of something.
All right, maybe it's good he didn't.
Sure, probably wouldn't have even occurred to him because of what he had done to that point. He hadn't really dipped his toes too much into this territory. Although I think it was like the mid '80s when he got like the 5 straight years in a row as the top guitar player in Guitar Player magazine. I think it was like 80, the mid to late '80s is when he just dominated in that category.
And I know there's recordings out there of that original rhythm section playing, playing these songs with Ozzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're so used to hearing the Rudy, Tommy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool to just hear them grooving like this, and some of the drum fills that Lee is doing. I'm like, oh yeah, like that's how it is on the record. That's not all of the live stuff we've heard Tommy Aldrich do, which is great too, but this is just really cool to hear the original guys doing their stuff.
Yeah.
Probably done better than me. I'd like to take a second here and introduce the band. This is Lee Kerslake here on the drums.
Thank you.
Lee flew over especially to do this. The poor bastard arrived in Sydney at 5 o'clock in the morning. And by sort of 11 o'clock, he was in rehearsal. I think he's just getting over his jet lag and he's about to fly back again. So, this is Bob Daisley. It was basically Bob's master plan to come up with this and get together and do it, which I thought was a great idea. Don Airey on the keyboards over here. We're blessed to have Don and Steve in the country with us. Steve Morse on the guitar.
Nice.
Someone should do a podcast about that band.
Yeah, someone should.
You know?
Someone else should come up with a better name for it, too.
This is Jade McRae. I want to eat it.
And to what you were saying earlier, that those recordings that do exist with Daisley and Kerslake are pretty bad quality from what I've heard. I don't know if there's anything super listenable.
Well, you know what I learned recently? Can you hear me okay still, by the way?
I heard you for a second, but you cut out.
You know what I learned recently is that I think Goodbye to Romance and No Bone Movies from Tribute is these guys.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's from a different. It's from a different performance. Those two songs.
Oh, no kidding! I didn't know that. They probably found out when you did.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
I mean, you could double check, but I believe that that's the case. It's from a I think it's a performance in England, even if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it must be, right? Because when they did the U.S. tours, they had the other guys.
Yeah, I think they toured. The original Blizzard of Oz band did tour. They just toured England, not the U.S.
Yeah, so I think it's those. Yeah, Goodbye to Romance, and you can tell if you A/B them on the record and you listen back to back, like Suicide Solution, for instance, to No Bone Movies. It's a distinctly different recording.
Oh yeah.
I have to go back. I haven't heard them in a while.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm trying to find something to confirm that, but I can't find it at the moment. It does say on Tribute though, on Wikipedia that they're credited as being on it. So. Lee Kerslake's really got the moves.
He's rocking.
For a jet-lagged guy, too. He looks like someone you'd see on like one of those like televised poker championships or something.
He totally does.
He's so good at hitting those little harmonics with his right finger.
I switched to the cans and put away my Bluetooth headphones, and wow, the audio quality is a lot better.
Yes.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Good.
That's like John with our early episodes wearing the Apple earbuds.
Yeah, those wasn't really working.
You can actually hear Don Airey pretty good on this one.
Sounds like later stage Maiden a little bit.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Wow.
He almost looks a little like Bruce.
Yeah, a little bit. They got a similar.
With the short hair. Yeah.
Bruce with short hair. Yeah.
Hey, well, on the tribute concert they played at the Royal Albert Hall for John Lord when he passed away. Bruce Dickinson comes out and does "Burn" with Glenn Hughes, and it's like a somber affair, and everyone's standing around, and he just walks out. He's like, "All right, motherfuckers!" It's just like completely does not read the room. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
While dressed like Nelson Muntz. Let's go, motherfuckers!
Yeah, he's got one speed on him, that guy, right? There's no nuance.
You gotta love it.
I do love him.
Thank you. This is Young Don.
All right.
Don Airey.
We got 2 back-to-back Ozzy songs now.
Nice. All right, well, if he's featuring Don, you know what this is.
We know what this is, yeah.
Sounds like he's going to do Lazy, actually.
Or he's going to start off with a little John Lord impression.
Yeah, why not?
Did you have him on the show, Don Airey, or no?
We did.
Am I thinking
Yep.
of someone else?
Yep.
You did.
He showed us his Ozzy tour book. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I didn't even realize he had that ham in there until he started playing it for the song.
Yeah, and he has that Korg just plop right there on top of it. Boom.
What if he just starts accidentally playing Perfect Strangers right now?
Whoops. It's like, whoops, wrong show.
Peter Gardeau is asking if he's going to pull the glass of wine out at the end. When we saw him live, he like took a glass of wine, he like held a note, and he just took a glass of wine and started drinking it.
Yeah, I think that's a newer shtick.
Oh, here he goes. And he worked the Mr. Crowley solo into his live Deep Purple solos a couple times.
Yeah. Like just a little bit, just subtle enough.
Ooh, sounds like it's a distortion on his voice. Sounds very sinister.
Does he have an effect on his vocals?
Yeah, it's like super
I think
distorted.
so. Yeah, it's like a distortion. I don't think it's like an auto-tune, but who knows? 2004.
It sounds like that, like kind of old-timey AM radio sort of distortion.
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Like a lo-fi distorted.
Scott Haskins saying they have an envelope filter on it. I can hear that.
Wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like different rhythm they put in there is like took me a second to kind of figure it out.
Throws
But
you
like
off balance for a second.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
Nate, you're right. Steve Morse is like never unhappy. He's just like,
he's having the time of his life.
I mean, I would too.
He has the
if I
look
were
on his
this
face
friggin'
like
show.
he's like the dream that everyone has that they'll get picked out of the audience to like come on stage and play with their favorite band. That's always the look he has on his face, but he's earned it though. It's definitely, it's weird that it has like such a different feel than the original, yet somehow still captures it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, doing that sort of halftime feel really gives it a whole different, a different flavor. But yeah,
I love the liberties they took with this song. Came out great.
Man, I love that little bass melody.
Oh, Sherry?
What's that? No.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't have the track listing in front of me, so.
That is friggin' deep. Tonight.
Oh, what a great song. Holy shit.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, and the background singers, that works really well in this.
There we go.
Oh man, this is great.
Yeah, I'm digging this.
Yeah, it sounds like just adding in the background vocals makes it sound like an R&B track.
And I'm telling you, this guy's like a soul singer in a way. To hear him sing Ozzy stuff is like a kind of disorienting, but he's killing it.
Oh, I love that.
I'm understanding more of the lyrics the way this guy sings them. I already picked up on 2 lyrics that I didn't know. Is it just the raps? He says, "Is it just the Rhapsody?" I believe, which I never knew.
Oh yeah.
And then he said, "I'm feeling 3 foot tall," which I never knew Ozzy said. song is called Tonight. It's Oh Sherry Part 2.
It's weird because they didn't go to the second guitar solo in Mr. Crowley. I don't know. It's because that solo is so sacred, but I wonder if they're gonna
that is sacred.
do the solo outro on this one. He seems to know these words pretty well.
Oof, goosebumps, man. This is killer.
I agree.
Yeah, is it just a rhapsody? I never knew that's what he said.
Right?
I thought he said, is it another sump for me or something? I don't know.
Maybe that's not what he says, but that's what I'm hearing.
I feel like I knew that's what the lyrics were, but I never knew the 3 foot tall line.
And is it common knowledge that Bob Daisley wrote all these lyrics, or is that the commonly held?
I think it is now.
Yeah. I don't know how long it went before people really knew that.
Right.
But I'm sure he told anyone that would listen.
Yeah, he sure did.
My dog has decided to lie under the desk and chew on my headphone cable, so if I cut out, you'll know why.
I just heard another Oh Sherry lick, I'm telling you guys.
Oh, yeah?
Listen.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah. It's funny, I didn't hear it the first time, but yeah, he totally did that at the end.
That was killer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bravo.
That's one of my favorite Ozzy songs off Diary. That's killer.
Definitely.
That's because we don't know where we're going next.
Oh, those last 3 songs are just
who's going to change this? Who's going to end it?
Incredible.
Yeah.
I'm following you. I thought I was following you. Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Here's another new song. This one's called Walk Away.
Kind of like the, kind of had that little, Zeppelin-ish, sort of.
Yeah.
Start to it.
That kind of a cashmere guitar rhythm. The oft copied
Yes.
guitar rhythm.
What was the Whitesnake song we did recently that was just a total cashmere ripoff?
I think it was Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah.
Slip of the Tongue.
I was just listening to your Slip of the Tongue episode.
Oh, yeah?
Guys. Yeah, good stuff. My favorite part is when Nate said that the album cover reminded him of Olive Garden.
I forgot that.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe one of my favorite analogies I've ever heard on a podcast.
Yeah, I stand by that.
When you're here, your family, darling.
Like that fake fancy look, you're totally right, though.
Yeah, it's fake fancy.
Fake fancy.
It's Tuscan.
Yeah, Tuscan. That's what me and Jen always call it.
You know, I forgot to mention on that episode, have you seen the, I don't know if it's like a meme going around now or if it's older, where there was like a couple that got their wedding photos taken outside of an Olive Garden to make it look like they were in Tuscany or something like that, and they actually came out really good.
That's one way to save a few bucks.
Yeah, why not?
Ooh, nice little bass run there. Don looks like he's having a good time back there too. I don't know how he sings like this for any more than one song without blowing out his vocal cords.
Right? I mean, I was thinking the same thing, man. He's just, but I guess your Brian Johnsons and Axl Roses can do that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not his first day on the job, so he knows how to control it, but...
Yeah, he looks like he's trying hard.
Yes. I mean,
which isn't to say he sounds like, he doesn't sound like he's trying hard. He looks like he's trying hard, though.
He's drenched in sweat.
He's rocking. Yeah, Nazareth, that guy, too. Definitely.
Sorry, my dog is trying to destroy the studio in the background.
Their original songs are long, which I'm not complaining about. It's just,
yeah, let's see. This is
they seem to really have a nice fleshed out arrangement for all of them, or it seems that way maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with them.
about 5 minutes long.
The one they did earlier in the set was really long. That more of a ballady style one.
Oh yeah, that was. Let's see, that was like 8 minutes long. Can't imagine.
Yeah.
That's the one they released as a single though, so I can't imagine. No, that wasn't the one. That was a different one.
No, the single was the more Middle Eastern one, right? Don't hassle the Hoff.
Oof.
That's a solid track, man.
Yeah, the originals that they're doing are pretty good.
Now, as I was saying before, we had about 3.5 days to rehearse. So basically, we managed to get the songs that we did on the album together, and a couple other tunes. So this is the last of the album tracks, and it's a sort of a good way going out on the album. But we'll play a couple of tunes anyway. Here we go.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Right on.
they're playing all the good
Yeah,
Blizzard and Diary songs.
Great selections.
Yep.
Part of me is like, man, I wish they would have continued on and done the rest of them. Like done the complete first 2 albums.
Oh, I would sit through this whole thing if they did that. No problem.
I'm available to fill in for the late Lee Kerslake.
Yes.
Just putting that out into the universe.
Oof.
And you probably wouldn't need any rehearsal. You could probably just go in cold.
And I am available to accept free passes to be in the front row.
You know how to set up a drum kit, right, John?
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll learn.
Yeah. Easy.
Our buddy Scott that's in the chat right now, he posts pictures of like drum sets that people post that are set up like by somebody who clearly has never played the drums. And like,
I'd love to see that.
Like the drums are all perfectly flat and like all, you know, like they're so far apart from each other. I think it would be one of those setups.
I happened to just have FM radio on the other day in the car and flipped it to good old 94 HJY, you know, John, and Nate, obviously, you know, too. But I caught this song right at the beginning. And I was
really?
Like, oh, hell yeah, let's go.
Oof. I can't remember ever hearing the song on the radio.
No, they play this one now. I don't know why, but they do, and it's
good.
It's a good treat.
I guess it's been 20 years since I lived there.
Not that I'm ever really listening to terrestrial radio, but nice surprise anyway.
Oh yeah. Jen had a Halloween playlist in the car when we were driving up to go pumpkin picking and stuff with the kids, and she had the spooky Halloween thing, and so I made her put Mr. Crowley on the playlist.
Oh yeah. That or Diary, probably.
Yeah, that would be a good one too.
That's some spooky stuff.
I don't think
this is cool what they're doing here. Still got it there.
He does.
What an iconic fill.
Yeah. I mean, for my money, you can't beat what Randy did on the album, but that was still pretty good.
Yeah, well, I was talking about Lee's drum fill, but everything this guy's doing is, I think...
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it is nice to hear Lee on this. I haven't heard a lot of him live, so...
Right. I don't know that I've ever heard Ozzy. I'm sure there's plenty of live recordings of this song that I'm not familiar with, but
yeah, I don't think
contemporary with the release of, or I guess an 80s version, I should say. You know, not a.
Yeah.
I don't think they did this really live much at all, or if at all.
Yeah.
Which is a crime.
Yeah, it's a mean riff.
That's awesome. Damn.
Yes.
Yeah, rocking.
That was a freaking outro. It's like out of nowhere.
The hell are they doing?
Don Airey's like,
I was not expecting
Don
this.
Airey's like, I'll do it under one condition. It's like, yeah, why not? It's kind of like, Deep Purple used to close their shows with Lucille for like the longest time, so it's like, why not? There's somebody in the audience that didn't know a single one of these songs, but then this came on, they're like, yeah, finally!
Right.
I mean, what a really, eclectic mix of songs.
Half Ozzy songs, half originals, and then we're just gonna close it out with Give Me Some Lovin'.
Add to the list of who he sounds like. The vocalist is Creedence. What's his name? Singer
John
Creedence
Fogerty?
Clearwater. Yeah, John Fogerty. those high raspy.
Yeah.
Those high raspy. I don't know. Kind of has like a raspy vibrato up in the higher register. He really has that John Fogerty.
Maybe they'll do I Hoid It Through the Grapevine after this.
Yeah, center field, please.
Did you comment on how the Gardo said he looked like Captain Kangaroo?
Yeah, Chris Lake.
Chris Lake does look like Captain Kangaroo.
Is that where Mr. Green Jeans is from?
Yeah, where's Mr. Green Jeans?
Yes.
The Dancing Bear, was that a thing from
I don't know. We're getting into deep cut territory here. I don't know.
Bunny Rabbit? Oh man, we have to research my Captain Kangaroo.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, it's right, you're back.
Oh, good.
So when Peter in the chat went to go see Deep Purple with John, it wasn't this era, but he said that Don Airey looked like Charles Bronson. So that's the running joke.
I think I said that, and
Oh,
I
maybe
kept
you said it.
I kept calling him Death Wish, and Gardo was like, he loved it, and I'm just like, yeah, Death Wish.
But now we have Captain Kangaroo too. Oh no, he's saying Mark did it. Okay.
I don't remember. I just know I hopped on the train.
Yeah, everyone bought into it.
See how quick Gardo was to take credit away from me, though?
It's natural to him. But yet, somehow, much like their unusual arrangements and takes on Ozzy songs, putting this at the end of the show somehow works.
Yeah.
It's like, why not? It's weird. It's a weird choice, but...
Yeah. I mean, I got to admit, I don't love it.
Tell us how you really feel.
Well, I mean, I would rather see these guys play more Ozzy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I think they were probably like, well, we need a couple more songs to end it out. What are songs that we all know really well that we won't basically not have to rehearse at all?
Yeah.
2 less songs that I have to write the lyrics out on the floor, all that sort of stuff, you know?
Well, you mean they didn't want to learn the entire arrangement of Diary of a Madman?
That would have been ambitious.
Get a string quartet up there.
Thank you very much. All right.
Oh, they are going to do the
I'm
fake
all
goodbye.
in for that, by the way.
We're going to do a song that
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing for a while. But what we've done is we went back and stripped it back to the original version, which is a band called the Easy Beats.
The Easy Beats?
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody shake. Everybody groove now. Everybody shake. Ooh, yeah.
The Easy Beats are an Australian rock band from the 60s.
All right.
Mary, Mary, you're on my mind. I said the folks are gone and the place will be mad. Oh, Mary, Mary, wanna be with you. And I tell you what I wanna do. I got to get a call to you. 'Cause I feel good.
So this is, I think, something he worked on with, So Jimmy Barnes did a version of this with In Excess, which appeared in the film The Lost Boys.
Who did a? Because this vocalist, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he did a collab with In Excess. I read that too. Very cool. Yeah, and Gardo, what you're saying, I read that as well. That's a connection. I guess Australia, small continent,
Oh,
right?
Angus Young's brother managed him? Wow. Meatloaf covered it. Covered the song.
I think Angus and Malcolm had another brother who was more into the management, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes.
Dingus.
Genghis, yeah. You ever heard of Genghis Young?
I said
I
Dingus,
think
but
I wanna
Genghis
say it
is
was,
even better.
I think I want to say they had a older brother, George, who was in management. No,
Right.
for real.
Yeah, no, I know that almost sounded like a goof, but yeah,
Angus.
George. You ever heard of George?
Georgie?
Yeah.
Georges. Well, Steve Morse knows it. He's singing along like crazy. Yeah, good classic rock song here. Nice.
Great sound and snare drum,
Yeah, it sounds really good.
doesn't it?
His shirt has almost completely changed shades of gray at this point. Is his shirt taped together at the top? I see he has masking tape on his shoulder. Oh no, that's just the design of the shirt.
No, I think that was just the style at the time.
It looks like it's held together by masking tape. He's just doing the never-ending intro to Over the Mountain.
Yeah.
Does he have a double bass pedal, or is he just supplementing with a floor tom?
No, that's the old Bonham sort of triplet
All right.
left-right kick thing.
I know I've heard you do some things on the single bass that I did not know were possible, so.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Didn't expect to see his name in the... All right.
That was impressive.
I'll say.
I'll say too.
Well, before we get into our final thoughts and feelings about this, though, I will take this opportunity to thank our next level of patrons, because we got 2 more levels to thank before the show is over. So, of course, naturally, I'd have to start it off by thanking our core level patrons. So, coming in at the $7.77 tier, the Keep It Warm Rat tier, I should say, we have Michael Vader. At the $6.99 new nice price tier, we have Spike the Rock Cat and Sugar Tea. And at the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell. And then we also have Arthur Smith.
Getting support from the patron Arthur Smith.
Anton Glaving and Charles Meadows. At the $6.65 almost evil tier, we have Kenny Wymore, Michael Bagford, and Richie Sucksmith. At the $5.99 the nice price tier, Robert Smith, Peter from Illinois, and Carl Hellberg. And at the 60 kroner tier, we have Newt Morton Johansson. At the $5.55 tier, we've got What's Going On tier, we've got Richard Fusey. And at the $5 money lender tier, we have John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Alman, Alexei the Perfect Stranger Slepikoff, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zern, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Calf, and Coyote Bongwater. Thank you so much for all of your support of the Deep Purple podcast. All right, so guys, before we get into our last group of patrons and close it up, what do you guys final thoughts on the show and on the band?
Well, I think I usually don't expect to or ever really care for any sort of a supergroup setup. I think that more often than not, it's a bit of a letdown. It's kind of lame. You feel like it's sort of an ego thing. This is coming from a bit of a different place where there's a history and there's a story behind it with Bob and Lee. And I think that that sort of makes a difference. And obviously, I keep forgetting the vocalist's name, but he's
Jimmy Barnes.
Jimmy Barnes, and he is. I think we're all pretty impressed with him. I think he absolutely crushed it. And with Steve Morse and rounding it all out, it really, to me, was I'd say on the higher tier of what my expectations would be for any sort of a supergroup. And it obviously helps that they're doing songs that I love and grew up loving, putting their own spin on them to varying degrees, but always interesting. And they have some really cool originals too. And it's maybe just a shame that they only did a couple shows and didn't carry this out a little bit further. But it seems like a really cool moment in time that was captured. And look forward to kind of playing the actual recordings of this, to hear what that sounds like. But as far as a live performance goes, full of energy for some slightly aging rockers, and just overall, I say 2 thumbs up for me.
Awesome. Well, as a touring musician, and like you said, this has been your job for 20 plus years now, is to tour around. How hard would you say it is to just go to a different, like, you've toured all over the country, all over North America. Have you done any more stuff abroad than that, or?
No, just Canada.
Canada, that's abroad.
Canada doesn't count. And I say that as a French Canadian.
As someone who, you've played, you guys have had the set mostly down for a long time. The band you're covering isn't coming up with any new songs. But you guys have done your own originals and all stuff like that. How hard would you say it would be to go into something like this with as little preparation as they did?
I think it really speaks to like the fact that they're all seasoned musicians, and like we were saying during the performance, the fact that you already have the rhythm section with almost like a fundamental sort of knowledge of these songs and these parts, like probably in their muscles and in their bones. I think that really helps. But again, the fact that they put these different spins on the arrangements, and they would do a halftime thing here, and they do a different accent figure here. And that takes rehearsal. And I think what he was saying is that they only had a couple rehearsals to do it. So all the more impressive and all the more disappointing that they couldn't continue to tour on this, because it seems like they put the time in to put together a solid, what looked to me a near perfect show with a couple of like looks at each other where you can tell like, is this where we're supposed to be? You can kind of see you can see the seams a little bit, but it was, for the most part, having, watching and listening to it, it didn't seem in any way to me to be like haphazardly thrown together. It seemed to be like a well put together. They spent time on it. And I think that it's no trivial feat, even for seasoned musicians, because you just have to remember shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just, that just takes running songs and rehearsing songs. And they're great players. They can cover their mistakes if there are any mistakes, but they seem to be few and, if at all, not even noticeable, really, to me. It was really impressive.
I remember when you and I used to play together, there'd be certain parts of certain songs where we'd look at each other and we'd do like a weird little upbeat thing together. These things would just develop naturally over time, but it was through many, many rehearsals and shows and stuff, not just like 2 rehearsals and we came up with all this weird stuff, and you just all of a sudden worked in all this other stuff. It's crazy. It's mind blowing to me that, knowing who all these guys are, I guess it shouldn't be that surprising, and it's also funny that they all had tons of other stuff going on at this time, and they would just be like, okay, that was fun, let's all go back to our other stuff. And when most people would say like, wow, this is it, like we got to stay together and do this, but this was just kind of
you get the sense that they're busy players in general, doing their own things, because you don't just sit around for 6 years, say at home doing nothing. I don't know, maybe Lee Kerslake, I don't really know what he was up to around this time. But yeah, you don't just sit around for years and years without picking up your instrument and then just be able to do this. So you get the sense that they were definitely keeping themselves busy playing and keeping their chops up on their own respective instruments in order to be able to just throw together something like this effectively. They kind of threw it together in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So John, what are your final thoughts?
I was really, I think, more impressed with this than I thought I would be, because, if it were like all Ozzy songs, I'd be like, all right, going into this thinking this is going to be great. But then I heard it was going to be some Ozzy, some originals. So I was kind of skeptical as well, because I've seen other bands do this type of thing with varying degrees of success. Like the original Dio band did it. I think like the 3 guys from Dokken without Don Dokken did something similar, like maybe around this time. It was just a kind of some originals and reworking some of the songs that they were on. And it's just like you get a hit or miss results. But I think the originals were good. I would say as the show went on, maybe like the last 2, I kind of tuned out a little bit, just because, like the other songs, they're just part of our history. But I think after hearing the original versions and the live versions, by the Ozzy band, which is really all you hear. And if anybody covers any of these songs, then they do Crazy Train, right? You don't hear them dig deep into the catalog. So to hear different versions of different songs, done with like a vocalist that it's, like I said, hard to fill Ozzy's shoes, hard to fill Randy's shoes to make the arrangements interesting. I think that they nailed it. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought. And I mean, there's just cemented for me that Steve Morse is probably becoming one of my favorite guitar players, because everything I hear him play on Purple Records, on this, it's just like, it continues to blow me away. And I mean, the fact that he handled Randy's parts so well, and just made me think like, wow, this is, I would listen to this. If like the original weren't available, I'd listen to this. I mean, I'd probably go back and listen anyway. And I mean, if these guys if it were like whatever it was 20 years ago, and I knew they were coming around after hearing this, I'd be like, yep, I want to go see him. Like, it was really, really good.
The interesting thing about Ozzy is it's not hard to be a better singer than him. Like,
he's just got a unique style.
Yeah, like he's just so unique. It's, you know, you could pick any of the, pick any of these, the singers who have replaced him, like in Black Sabbath. He's probably like technically the worst singer that Black Sabbath ever had, but he's the guy that everyone thinks of when they think of Black Sabbath. And, you think of this Jimmy Barnes, or whoever's doing these Ozzy songs, they could be a technically better singer, but it's they're such a good call that he put his own spin on it and didn't try to emulate Ozzy. And it's kind of similarly with Morse, like he didn't try to play the Randy solos note for note by any means. He put his own spin on it.
I think they captured the spirit of it. Yeah,
the spirit was totally captured somehow, but maybe it's because we've seen so much live Steve Morse in our time doing the show that we're so used to his style that it's kind of cool seeing it. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear takes from some of our listeners who either aren't familiar with the Ozzy stuff or are big Steve Morse fans and don't know it or whatever, just to see what their take is. But we're all kind of coming from the same place, so there's not a huge variety in our opinions, but we all grew up with these songs and we're hearing them done this way, and we all appreciate it because we love those songs. So it'd be interested to see someone who didn't know the material as well.
Well, because you also don't, like I said before, you don't hear Over the Mountain, you don't hear Tonight performed by Ozzy, let alone somebody covering them. I mean, when was the last time you went and saw a cover band or something do those songs? So I mean, to hear them at all is a treat, but to hear them done well, and then is even better. And then to hear that, like Scott said, the original rhythm section with Don Airey, Lee Kerslake, and Bob Daisley is just a real, just great treat to see those guys like out there playing and doing their music and at that point still sounding great. And even what was it? Like hearing that kind of bass line that Daisley does in Tonight.
Yeah.
When it kind of kicked in the second verse, there it is. And then it's kind of like, this comforting feeling. It's like, that's the stuff. So it's really great to kind of see your favorites and some new guys mixed in, just doing justice to these great songs.
Yeah, I'd love to know what, to your point, Nate, about someone who's not as sort of wasn't as raised on these Ozzy tracks as we are, like that maybe has never heard the song Tonight, for instance, and what their take is on hearing something, this sort of very unique and different arrangement that they did of it, what their take would be. To me, it was just, again, I think we said it that was a highlight for me. Probably the highlight of the show was Tonight. I mean, just the way they put that together, not to even mention the fact that they mashed it up with O'Sherry, which was really cool too, but just what they did to it. And it was really like a goosebumps moment for me, hearing that song when that chorus kicks in and just that bass line, that just kind of like walking down bass line he does. It was pretty special.
Well, I'll let you know, because we have a lot of listeners that don't like Ozzy or aren't familiar with Ozzy. So they will let me know and I'll share it with you guys when this episode finally comes out. But Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we'll just move on to the next group of patrons before we do our final wrap up here. It's kind of hard on a live thing like this to do it, but here we go. We've got at the £3.50 Deep Purple New York tier, we have Lord Longford. At the £3 aromatic feed tier, Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, Stephen Sharp and Duncan Leask. At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, and in the chat, we have Peter Gardeau, Ian DeRosier, Mark Roback. Then, of course, we have Ivan Fjeldbu. Runar Simonsen. JJ Sinard, Ruinous Inadequacies, John Miselli.
Oops. Oh, Sam. How many times must I tell you to not leave your Proust lying about? Oh, it's unbelievable.
Michael Boyette and Corey Morissette. At the $1.71 I Want My Own tier, we have
Rich, Young, Shaylor.
At the 10 kroner tier, Karsten Lau. And at the $1 made-up name tier, we have the Bob Deadly and Lee Killslake Leaky Mausoleum, Stephen Somerville, the Concerto 1999 fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel,
Blackmore tights.
Steve Down to Earth Kohler, Zwapper the Electric Alchemist, Andres Engstrom, Ashley Still I Hear Burn Rose, and
New patron.
ICDC. Thank you for joining us at the £1 made-up name tier. Thank you so much. All right. Whew. Well, there you have it, folks. Living Loud, live in Australia. We'll have to get back together again and do the album. Not next week, but give it some time to marinate with the live show. And
definitely.
And at any rate, like I said, we have to wait less long to if you have any recommendations, Scott, or any Zeppelin crossovers or whatever you want to do. If there's a Sublime and Deep Purple connection we're not aware of, let us know.
I'm not to my knowledge. No, there's not. But I'm always on the lookout for any ways I can just weasel my way into the podcast. I really enjoy what you guys do, and I'm happy and honored to be a part of it.
And it's great.
Every now and again, every 180 shows or however often it is.
And we did, thanks to Craig Smith for sending the DVD. I really appreciate it. It was a really big help. Had a little bit of trouble finding it, so really appreciate his help. And we did also try to enlist my cousin Jeff to join us, but he was just, we've known him for a long time, so when he's just like, no thanks, we're like, I'm not going to press it.
He respectfully denied. That's okay.
Yeah, he's like, nope.
That sounds kind of disrespectfully denied. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't mince words. He's like, hey, you want to be on the show? No. Okay, cool.
No. Nope.
I was so unimpressed.
Yeah.
Well, I figured that would be the perfect, like, the four of us were all, listening to Ozzy around the same time and really into it, and some permutation. It was always a safe album to put on or whatever, but yeah, he wasn't having it. So maybe next time.
Have you ever done just the Ozzy albums, or is that a little too far afield from?
Yeah, we did. We did do the first two. Yeah, we had Nick from Pot of Thunder on. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I
think you listened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Isn't that why we think that most of our listeners don't like Ozzy? Is because his albums are like top of the heap?
Yeah,
on the Deep Purple podcast.
We're giving away 5s to all of these. Yeah. Yeah.
Can't help it.
I know. I'm sorry. You got to go with your gut.
True.
But yeah, Scott, thanks for joining us, man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, guys. Nate, John, appreciate it. Always good to see you guys, and would be good to see you in person sometime soon.
Yeah.
Who knows when?
And when did
not another 180
Nate, I'll see you
episodes.
on Chicago. Yeah. No, sooner than that. Sooner than that.
I said not another 180.
Yeah. Every time you're in Chicago for like 12 hours, and like I'm working or something.
Not ideal.
You've been in Chicago like 9 times since I lived here. I think you've only stopped by once because it's like there's always something going on.
Once.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make it happen again. Nice. When's the last time we saw each other? Last summer, right? Last summer we hung out.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so there you go. We're all good.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll be at you next week with a new exciting topic or review or something. I don't even know what the hell it's going to be, but we'll figure it out, and we'll see you then. Later.
Hey,
bye-bye.
Life's too short for silent nights, so keep living loud.
Not bad.
Wow.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Purple Podcast. If you like what you hear and would like more episodes in the future, please donate on Patreon to support the show. You can also leave us a review in Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for show updates. See deeppurplepodcast.com for more details. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, what was it? Cliff Barnes? What's his name?
Jimmy Barnes.
Jimmy Barnes. Hey, Cliff Bar.
We're
gonna have to send you a postcard with his name on it.